Mic check, 1, 2, 3. 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 Mic check. Too low, Jordan. Gotta fix that. Ah, damn. Good to go. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 5 Recap Show Late Night Edition here from Port Barre, Louisiana. And we're going to do it from my front porch, ladies and gentlemen. How about a little 1 a.m. after hours recap show of high school football? Who's staying up late with us? I see we got 5 of us right now. And a lot more. We'll watch this tomorrow and the days moving forward. Got a lot to talk about, and we got little time. So thank you so much for staying up with us late so we can get this recap show going. If you see vehicles passing, that's because we're right here on our front porch. If you hear dogs barking, I'm outside, ladies and gentlemen. If that train goes blowing, that's because we live right here by the railroad tracks. And if the neighbors start fussing, that means a divorce is about to happen. So let's keep all that factors in mind as we get this recap show underway. Mr. Gary Swallow cannot be with us tonight. Mr. Gary Swallow is currently at Talladega for the NASCAR races. So missing Mr. Gary Swallow tonight, and I have to do this solo dolo tonight. And y'all might have to help me in the chat and help me get through this show. So if we got anybody that wants to ask some questions, talk about a little football with us in the chat, then go for it. Mr. Jack Jackson said he stayed up for this. Mr. Jack, who's your football team and why did you stay up for Under the Lights? I'd love to know why. I got the National Championship Cup right here on the deck. Right, Mr. Devin Staub knows what's going down tonight. I got Go Preps, I got Are You Serious Sports, and I got Under the Lights right here in front of you. I wanted to spice up the little porch a little bit so we can get this show underway. We got helmet stickers to give out, ladies and gentlemen. Got 5 of them to give out tonight. Games of the night. Boy, we had some dandies of some games of the night. How about upsets of the night? Yes, we did have some upsets tonight that we're going to get into. UTL statement wins of the night. Who was it? That's what I'm going to talk about later on. Got some headlines to talk about and games of interest next week. Let's see, Abbeville High, because I missed the scores on KATC News. Mr. Jack, Abbeville actually played their game Thursday night, so very interesting there. They played West St. Mary last night. Well, 2 nights ago now, because it's 1 a.m. in the morning. So, got a lot to talk about. Little time, like I said. 40-something games to discuss and give out scores. And we will start with Thursday Night Football. Thank you for tuning in. Let's get this ball rolling, because helmet stickers, games of the night, upsets of the night, and UTL statement wins of the night is later on. So, we start our show tonight with some week 5 Thursday night football games, and you might see me bundle it up. It's a little nifty out here tonight, so gotta have the mask, gotta have the beanie, gotta have the hoodie on. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Thursday night football. Mamou Church Point, the Battling Bears with their 3-headed monster would not be denied. You know what's going on in Bear Country. And it's a whole lot of offense, ladies and gentlemen. Week in and week out, this Battling Bear football team puts up points. Coach said if I have to beat them by 1 point and I score 59 and they score 58, we still won the game. Coach, you scored 58 tonight. Mamou 6 Thursday night. You stay undefeated. Congratulations to the Battling Bears at Church Point High School. How about your next matchup? Undefeated Sacred Heart Trojans going on the road, taking on a winless Caldwell Parish. But nobody told Caldwell Parish to stay home in this one. All they did was rally the troops up. Home game here. Could they knock off an undefeated Sacred Heart Trojans? Yes, they could, ladies and gentlemen. How about Caldwell Parish getting their first win of the season, shutting out the recently undefeated Trojans? What a win for that program. Caldwell Parish 13, Sacred Heart 0. Big time win right there for Caldwell Parish. Kind of talking a little loud. I see some lights come on at the neighbors. I know they're about to call the law. Next matchup, winless West St. Mary hit the road. They headed down to Wildcat Stadium to battle with the Abbeville Wildcats. Oh, what a team they have over there, ladies and gentlemen. That defense is something special to watch in person, and they've been proving it week in and week out what they have over there. And now we wanted to see, last week we wanted to see, could this offense get rolling? They proved it last week against Beauchamp. All right, we moved in the right direction. Could they repeat success this week against a team that's really been struggling out the gate? And Abbeville, no hiccup this week. Thursday Night Football, they handled business in front of their home crowd. They moved to 4-1 on the season. Final score, Wildcats 56, West St. Mary 6. How about them Wildcats, ladies and gentlemen? A Hail Mary away from being 5-0. Whew. We talk about the Abbeville Wildcats. They got a big one next week. Welcome in state champs. I tell you what, Wildcat Stadium will be rocking next week when St. Charles comes into town. Can't wait to see what happens next Friday night. Coach Moy, I know, will have the troops ready to go and try to knock off the defending state champs. Can't wait for Abbeville St. Charles next week. How about your next matchup, Oberlin? Going on the road, taking on Hamilton Christian. Hamilton Christian scratching and clawing, trying to get that first win of the season. And in this district, no easy wins in this district. Oberlin, too strong on the road in this contest. They take down Hamilton Christian 48-12. Oberlin, that's a really good football team. And you got to think to yourself, it's setting up Oberlin Basile in a couple weeks from now. Potential district championship matchup. Keep an eye out on it, folks. Oberlin Basile, I think we're on to something here if they keep winning. But as of Thursday night, Oberlin, too much for Hamilton Christian. Final score, 48-12. Oberlin moves to 4-1 on the year. How about Holy Savior Menard coming in to Opelousas, Louisiana Thursday night to take on the Vikings of Opelousas Catholic. And the Vikings have played a really tough non-district schedule so far. They had the Oak Groves of the world. They had the Southern Labs of the world, and also Ascension Catholic. And this Opelousas Catholic team very well battle-tested this year. So they were ready whenever they got back to home this week and took on a Holy Savior Menard team struggling out the gate. And all they did for 4 quarters is shut out the Eagles. 48-0 OC. They might start that little streak that they like to do going into district play. So we will see how the Vikings fare moving forward. Really, really tough district in that 1A division. You got the St. Ed's, you got the Sacred Hearts, you got the Catholic Appointed Peas, you even got the North Centrals now. That is going to be a really, really tough district, and you can't count out Westminster. A lot can happen in that district, so we will see how OC fares moving forward, but I'm really, really excited about that district. Next up, it was Grand Lake and East Bow. If I told you East Bow scored 30 points and lost, a lot of people would say I'm lying. But Grand Lake seems like they're back to their championship form from 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it was 2020 when they went to Natchitoches and played for the state title, and I think it was. But they look like that team is back 2 years later. All they did through 5 weeks have been win football games and play dominant football games. So Grand Lake, besides the Oakdale game, has blew out 3 of their 4 opponents, and they won against a really good Oakdale team in overtime. So this Grand Lake team, 5-0, very well deserved to be undefeated through 5 weeks. Congratulations to the Hornets. Final score, Grand Lake 58, East Bow 30. East Bow drops to 2-3 on the year. Grand Lake moves to 5-0. Next contest, we actually covered this game Thursday night. 0-4 Ville Platte versus 0-4 Pine Prairie. Somebody's circle was going to change to a 1 this week. Who would earn it? That would be the question mark, because a lot of people can get wins via forfeit. A lot of people can get wins in different ways. But who would earn it when your backs are against the wall and both teams searching for that signature first win of the season? That's what I like to see. Somebody go out and earn it. And let me tell you, Ville Platte High School went out and earned it Thursday night. Big night for a couple of Bulldogs, especially for the UTL player of the game, number 6. Huge night for the young man. And Ville Platte High School gets their first win of the season. Final score, Ville Platte 34, Pine Prairie 13. Bulldogs. Congratulations, first win of the season. How about your battle of Wichita, one of the two. Somebody correct me in the chat from my people up north. Wichita Christian versus Wichita Parish. The Battle of the Wichita. How about that? I really was intrigued with this matchup. I love this matchup on paper. And I think this matchup should be played moving forward from recent years to come, because it's just so juicy when you look at it. Christian, no stranger to playing in big time games. They've been in countless state title games. Parish trying to get to that state title game. And Christian, they have the team this year that can very well get back to the Dome. So why not put each other against each other and not separated by far? And you know both fan bases are very passionate when these two teams play on a Friday or a Thursday night. So the first ever meeting goes to Wichita Parish. Final score, they take down Wichita Christian 48-28. Good football game here. If you missed it in person, I missed it also. So we are in the same boat. How about the Roos from Kentwood? Big win last week. They knocked off 5A Walker under the water tower. The Roos would not have long to enjoy it, because all they had next week was the defending state champs at the defending state champs home. They had to go down and play the Warriors of A-Meat. And we all know how good this A-Meat football team is, was, and will be. Roos put up one hell of a fight Thursday night. And it was a defensive showdown, ladies and gentlemen. Final score, A-Meat Warriors. Like we say, if you want to beat a champ, you got to go beat the champ. But this night, A-Meat would stand tall at their home field. Final score, A-Meat 14, Kentwood 6. What a game. What an absolute treat of a football game. And when these two teams meet up on the gridiron. So that will conclude Thursday night football. Boy, do we have some Friday night football to talk to you folks. Well, you had homecoming everywhere tonight in Louisiana. Congratulations to the homecoming queens and kings announced at the games tonight. Enjoy it, ladies and gentlemen. That's some memories that these kids will have for the rest of their life, being on that homecoming court, riding in that parade, and homecoming games. How special are homecoming games? So much alumni coming back, so much people coming back to watch a football game because they're alumni. It's the homecoming game, and so much alumni come back. You see it countless places. I mean, you look at OHS tonight, boy, did they have no seats available. Standing room only. Port Barre, my alma mater, had a great crowd. First ever tailgate, huge success over there. You just see it all over the place in Louisiana. These homecoming games, so much alumni come back to support those programs and see everyone they graduated with. So love when it's homecoming week. And also, those teams play with a little bit extra oomph just because it's homecoming nights. So you know, when you're at home, you play with a little extra something. But when it's homecoming night, you play with a little bit more extra something. So a lot of homecoming nights on these Friday night games that I'm fixing to announce. So congratulations to the winners in all of our Friday night games. And enjoy those homecoming nights, because you don't have but 4 years of it. So it goes by way too fast. Let's start off with the first game. Northwest Raiders coming into Port Barre, Louisiana. It is the Red Devils' homecoming. Red Devils searching for that first win of the season. Could it come on homecoming night in front of the alumni? I tell you what, folks, this one was good for 3 quarters. It was 13-8. Raiders had the lead going into the 4th quarter. Boy, did we think Port Barre had a really good shot to knock off the Raiders tonight after we saw that score going into the 4th. But the Raiders, how you say that, pulled away at the end and scored 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter to put the final nail in the coffin. Raiders go on the road, knock off the Red Devils at homecoming. 25-8. Raiders move to 3-2 in the season. Red Devils fall to 0-4. Next matchup, it is Lake Arthur searching for their 3rd win of the season. They're gonna go to a winless Pickering football team. I heard the story all week. A lot of people saying, don't sleep on Pickering. They score a lot of points. They can score a lot of points because of their offense. Okay, I understand. When you look at Lake Arthur, they got a really good team theirself. So when you have Lake Arthur going on the road, and they might have gave up 38, but that old saying goes back from Coach at Church Point. If we have more points than you and gave up that much, just the defensive coordinator is going to have a headache that night. The OC is going to be feeling pretty damn good. Final score, Lake Arthur 67, Pickering 38. How about that Lake Arthur football team hanging 67 tonight? Congratulations to Lake Arthur. Big win on the road tonight. Moved to 3-2 in the season. But your next contest, 2-2 Eunice Bobcats against 0-4 Catholic New Iberia. Somebody told me during the week it is Catholic and New Iberia's homecoming. Throw that record out the window. They will get up for this game and they will play hard. And I let it slip through the vines. I picked the Bobcats because of the big win last week over the Raiders. I thought they would fuel off of it. I thought they would take it into this matchup, but I never did take into perspective that Catholic New Iberia would actually get up for this game and play the way they played. Boy, did they play a hell of a game tonight, and congratulations to Catholic New Iberia. Big home win. They get their first win of the season, and it came against the Eunice Bobcats. That's an impressive win, in my opinion. So congratulations there. 44-18. Big win, like we said. Did not expect that score. Next up, LaGrange searching for their first win. They had to go down to North Vermilion. North Vermilion, one of those sleeper teams where you don't see them making the big headlines, but we've seen them be in pretty much every game. so far this season. They've been one of those good football teams that could very well be 4-0 right now instead of 2-2. So what would happen when they welcome in the Grange? Well, let's just say North Vermilion, the better football team tonight, was the home team. Final score, North Vermilion 35, Lagrange 12. How about that North Vermilion football team? Keep an eye out on them, folks. Maybe they can shock somebody when playoffs come around. I know they're in a brutal district this season, but when the playoffs come around, you never know what this North Vermilion football team might be able to go knock somebody off in the first or second round. Got winless DeQuincy hitting the road, going down to 3-1 Rose Pine. Rose Pine, big win at home tonight. They knock off DeQuincy. Boy, DeQuincy is struggling, trying to find that first win of the season. This was a second round playoff team a year ago, and if you told me they would start off 0-5, I would tell you were crazy. But you look at the other side of it and who they played tonight in Rose Pine. Rose Pine all the way down to the quarterfinals last year and off to a red hot start again. They moved to 4-1 on the season after a 54-10 blowout win over DeQuincy. Congratulations to the Eagles from Rose Pine. Next up, what a game this was. They said when Jennings and Iota come together, it's always a thriller. Boy, am I starting to believe it, because you look at Jennings 0-4 in the year, you count them out. You say, man, this is Iota. This is Iota at home. This is Iota this. This is that. But then you just think to yourself, Jennings, man, that might be the best 0-4 team in the state right now, because of who they've played through 4 weeks. And it would not get easier in week 5. You got to go into that stadium at Iota and try to knock off the Bulldogs. No easy task. But Jennings would give Iota all they can handle here in this one. But at the end of the day, Iota at home finds a way to come away with their third victory of the season. Final score, Iota 21, Jennings 13. Next up, Beauchamp hit the road, headed down to Kaplan. It was Kaplan's homecoming tonight, and I'm very, very curious if the capacity show was in full gear tonight. Boy, I tell you what, that number 36 from Kaplan, what a fullback he is. If you have not seen him play in person, you're missing out. Kaplan looking for their third win of the season. They would get it. Congratulations to Coach over there at Kaplan. Big win at home for homecoming. Final score 50-19 over the Beauchamp Gators. So I sure will talk to Coach real soon, because he got some big matchups coming up along the way. Kaplan, they're in a tough district themselves, so keep an eye out on that Pirate football team. But as of tonight and for last night and the week before, we call that a 3-game winning streak, so we'll keep that moving forward. How about Rain and Crowley? A couple of 1-3 teams looking for their second win of the season. We said Crowley has been in pretty much every game they've been in this year, and their record does not defy the team that they are. Well, what type of team is Rain, to be exact? You look at Rain a couple times and they take Church Point down to the wire. They blow out Beauchamp, and then you have the last 2 weeks where you try to figure out which Rain football team would show up in this contest. I think the good Rain football team showed up tonight, because I look at these score here, and they had a 28-7 victory over Crowley. So, Rain, big win at home. That was a nice bounce back week for Rain. Boy, they needed it. So, congratulations to the Wolves. Big win at home tonight, 28-7. How about the Crow Dome? Rocking tonight as Karen Crow welcome in New Iberia Senior High. Nish, tough place to go, still a win. I've seen Southside do it this year. Could Nish be the second team to go into the Crow Dome and knock off the Golden Bears? Not an easy task, and they would not succeed tonight. The Crow Dome moves on with a big win tonight. Karen Crow heads to 4-1 on the season. 51-34 final score. Karen Crow, they're also in that big 9-team district, so Crow sets up some winnable games moving forward. They're only playing 9 games on their schedule, and then you got the big one with Acadiana down the road, so we'll see. Maryville, Elton, district matchup at Elton tonight. Maryville searching for that elusive second win. Heading down to Elton. Elton searching for that 4th win. Yes, I said 4th win. If you told me Elton this year would be 3-1 coming into week 5 after what we've seen in recent years, boy, what a turnaround for that program. And I'm so happy to see teams turn it around and players buying into what the coaches preach over there. It's something to see, and it's something that you just love to hear. So congratulations to the Elton Indians for a big bounce back week this week. They knock off Maryville 57-44. Holy offense in this one. At some point, somebody made the defensive coordinator smile, because somebody had to get a stop somewhere. So 57-44, Elton moves to 4-1 on the season. I see some games moving forward where this Elton team can win. So is this the year that Elton gets back into the playoffs? Very possibly. St. Louis, Coach Mathern over there with the Saints, heading down to South Bow this week. South Bow's homecoming. And I tell you what, that's not an easy team to play on homecoming with the way the Saints have been playing lately. Big win last week and another big win this week. Saints, one of those sleepers in that district. Don't crown the Preps or the Ioways just yet. St. Louis trying to keep their name in contention for that district title. Final score, St. Louis 48, South Bow 0. So St. Louis moves to 4-1 on the season. The only loss so far has come out of state. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, coach at North Central. You went from a 40-game losing streak coming into this season, and now the North Central Hurricanes are on a 3-game winning streak, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I said it. I'm super stoked for this program. Much deserved. You got the right man for the job, North Central. You hired the perfect man. He came down from up north. It took him a year and a half to get to this point. And these kids bought in. They believed. And Coach poured his heart into this program. And Coach over there, Karoof at North Central, man, what a fantastic job. I know the district ain't easy coming up, but what you've done in your 2-year stint so far by turning this program around like that. Hats off to you, my brother. Keep it up. I have so much respect for you and your team. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Final score: North Central goes on the road, gets their 3rd victory of the season, 36-0 shutout win over Northwood Lena. Next matchup: Westminster Christian Academy and Delcom. Battled it out tonight. Another homecoming night, ladies and gentlemen. Delcom at home tonight, welcoming back all the alumni, all the festivities going on. And Delcom would welcome in Westminster. This one was 14-14 for a while. And then Delcom just took off and never looked back. Delcom finds their 4th win of the season. Tell you what, that's one of those teams not getting enough attention. That's a quiet 4-1 team, ladies and gentlemen. Keep an eye out on Delcom. You definitely got our eyes over here at Under the Lights on you, and we can't wait to see what happens moving forward with that program. One of those sleepers that are currently 4-1 right now. 48-14 final score. Delcom gets the win over Westminster. How about ERAF and Vinton? I heard Vinton maybe had only 18 players for tonight. So big time concerns when it comes to depth when guys have to play offense, defense, and special teams. So you don't have much room for error when it comes to injury-wise, when it comes to substitution-wise, ejection-wise. You have to play all those factors into a contest. And they played the football game tonight against ERAF, and the score isn't lopsided like I thought it was going to be. So hats off for that team for playing hard tonight. What can you say about ERAF? They had a bad taste in the mouth last week. Vermilion Catholic went into their house and shut them out. You probably heard the message all week from the coaching staff. Keep that inside you. Use it. Let it fuel you. And go and put together a complete game next Friday night. And we look here. You look at a 28-6 final score over Vinton. Not sure how the game played out, but Bobcats get the win tonight, get their 3rd win of the season. So congratulations to ERAF. St. Martinville, Lafayette. Boy, were we wrong on the Wednesday night show. When the whole panel picked St. Martinville and nobody's giving Lafayette love, well, did they make us hear about it on the scoreboard tonight. Congratulations to the Lafayette Lions. Big home win. I say it's home. They play their home games at LCA right now while their stadium is under renovations. So Lafayette at LCA, considered a home game tonight. Big win for that program over a quality opponent in St. Martinville. That's a semifinal team that they just beat tonight from a year ago. They were playing with a chance to go to the Dome. So big win for Lafayette. How will that fuel them moving forward? You got to think that those type of wins does something for your football team. So congratulations to the Lions. Final score: Lafayette 44, St. Martinville 41. Holy hell, what a game. What an absolute game. And we wish we could have been there to see it play out and finish. Another homecoming game tonight. Kinder Yellow Jackets welcome the men to Iowa Yellow Jackets. So, Battle of the Yellow Jackets on homecoming night. Something would have to happen. Kinder last week could not get it done against St. Louis. Got a week to prepare for this Iowa football team, and you just know homecoming night, man, those kids get up for it. Was not in attendance of the game. Not sure what happened tonight, but hats off to Iowa. Big road win against a place that's not too easy to win at. They go spoil the homecoming game and shut out the Kinder Yellow Jackets tonight. Final score, Iowa 28, Kinder 0. Iowa trying to keep taps of that district title for that race. Looks like a 3-man race right now, but who knows what next week has in store. So we'll keep a close eye on that district race moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, Vermilion Catholic, we said it Wednesday night. That is the team that needs to be ranked number 1 in the state. I get it that they might have not had played the better competition than some of these teams have played in the past through these 5 weeks, but you still have to play the game. It's 48 minutes. They all put their shoulder pads on the same. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. So when Vermilion Catholic stepped on the field tonight, they were coming in with 8 straight quarters of not allowing a point. We challenged them on Wednesday night. Could they make it 12 in a row without allowing a point? Holy hell. When you check the score tonight, ladies and gentlemen, they did it. This defense is legit. This defense is ruthless. This defense is fun to watch. They're one of those that makes your job easy as a coach. The way they fly around the ball and the way they play together. It's something to see at Vermilion Catholic right now. The Screaming Eagles, like I said, I think this team could get to the Dome, and that's just one man's opinion, and don't fault the messenger. But Vermilion Catholic, make that 12 quarters in a row of a 0. Not giving up a point. So 12 quarters in a row, they have not given up a point. Congratulations to the Vermilion Catholic Screaming Eagles. 48-0 victory over Highland Baptist tonight. That offense is pretty damn good too. So keep an eye out on the Screaming Eagles moving forward. Definitely one of my picks to get to the big dance. We'll see though. A lot of football still left to play. Welsh Greyhounds, ladies and gentlemen. Big numbers for the first 3 weeks. We've waited for this moment where a team would actually give them 48 minutes of football. How will the Greyhounds respond when another team punches you back? And let's just say this one was 7-0 for a while. Loreauville had the lead for the longest time. And it must have been one hell of a fourth quarter. Because when last time we checked it, it was 7-0. The next time we checked it, holy hell. Welsh goes on the road and the Greyhounds knock off the Tigers at Loreauville. Final score, Welsh 20, Loreauville 16. What a game and what a win for the Greyhounds. Moving to 4-0 on the season. How about Breaux Bridge and Teurlings? You talking about one of the hotter teams in the state right now. They came into week 5 currently ranked number 1 in the state in Division II private rankings. It is the Teurlings Rebels. Them Rebels, no problems tonight at home. Shut out Breaux Bridge to move to 5-0 on the season. 38-0 Turlings. If you have not seen them play yet, go out and watch them play. If you have not heard about this Rebel team yet, then let us just tell you they're really, really good. And they are turning heads week in and week out. Next matchup, Red River heading down to Logansport tonight. Logansport Tigers welcomes in the Red River Bulldogs. Really like this matchup. I was intrigued in the preseason with it. I said, man, this is a great game that they put together on the schedule. And when you look at this game, Red River have been struggling so far this season on the offensive side to score points, it looks like. And when you got a Logansport team that's just been clicking these first 4 weeks, offense has not been the difficult part for them. Red River loses an all-state quarterback. Logansport gets their all-state quarterback back for another season. Logansport at home tonight, big win for the Tigers, 32-16. Logansport wants the dome, and they have a shot to get back. It won't be easy, but they definitely have a shot to get back. How about your next matchup? We just came back from Hanson Field tonight. We saw 3-1 Gaydon. We saw 3-1 Basile in person. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a tight one for majority of the first quarter, and then what we call a tone setter for how the rest of the game would go. Wide receiver, jet motion, speed sweep, and he might be the fastest kid I've seen on the team tonight from when he turned them burners on. Your player of the game, sponsored by Whipster's Manifest, number 16. What a run to set the tone of the game. I tell you what, Basile never looked back after that big run for 16. Once he got the edge, it was 6. And it was a house call for that young man. Big time run. Big time players make big time plays in big time moments. So, what can you say about the Basile Bearcats? Controlled the line of scrimmage tonight. A two-headed monster still doing two-headed monster things. Luke Johnson, no turnovers again, controlling that offense and playing a game management type of game where let me get it to my guys. If they're going to give me the quick passes, I'm going to take the quick passes. We saw that tonight. A bunch of hitch routes completed. We saw some drag routes completed. And the receivers are making great catches whenever Johnson does give them the ball. And then your offensive line, they always do what they do. Your backs always do what they do. And boy, you have a hell of a kicker also with Ross Cortez. He does great things for this program, whether it's touchbacks, whether it's heck of a punts. And coming in tonight he was 16 for 16 on extra points. So Cortez, a little Mr. Do-It-All for the special teams group. But like I said, very fun team to watch. Love to attend Basile home games. They treat us like family over there. And I can't say thank you enough. I got to experience the tailgate tonight. They invited me over after I got everything set up. So thank you so much for that. To the ones that gave us a drink and a plate, I want to say thank you so much to Basile for the tailgate spot tonight. Also, thank you so much to Basile head football coach and the administration over there for allowing us to go down and cover your football game tonight. Couldn't do it without great leadership there that allows a little old platform like us to come cover your kids. So thank you so much. But you look at the rest of the game, 2 big touchdowns from DeVille. He also had an interception tonight. Your player of the game had countless tackles on defense, some catches on offense, and a big-time run. And like I said, it grounded it out. Even had a JV score late in the game, 27-0. Basile takes down Gaydon. Basile moves to 4-1 on the season. Gaydon falls to 3-2 on the season. Coach just joined the chat. Coach Brody, I just gave your team major praise earlier. You're going to have to go back and rewatch it tomorrow or later on tonight. But everybody wants to know that sitting on the front porch with me. This is Bob, and this is Jeff, and this is Hillary. They all want to know, was it the Capacity show tonight for homecoming night for the Kaplan Pirates? That's all we want to know right now, because 50 big ones on the scoreboard. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, how about St. Ed's Oakdale, the battle of the 2-1s. But we love this matchup and really think this game probably should be played moving forward because of how good both of these teams are every season. And when they meet up, the fan bases that support these teams, it's really good football. And you want to get out and watch this game because of how competitive this game could be. But tonight, yep, for Capacity. I can't say his last name right, but Hillary, Joe, and Fred want to know how was it the Capacity show tonight. But tonight, it was Fear to Veer in full effect. Oakdale, not sure how the game played out. I'm going to take a guess that the Veer could not be stopped tonight, and number 10 might have had a huge night. That's my guesses. I have not talked to any coaches, but Oakdale, big home win for homecoming tonight. 48-12. They moved to 3-1 on the season. Another one of those teams that you have to watch out for when playoffs roll around. They can go spoil the party for one of those lower seeds in that first round or second round. So let's keep an eye out on Oakdale moving forward. Fear to Veer in full effect tonight. How about Central Catholic and Jeanerette? 3-1 versus 3-1. Jeanerette off to one of their hottest starts in recent memory. Central Catholic comes in, and we don't really know much about Central Catholic besides that last second Hail Mary against Abbeville, or we can go off on. But we found out a little bit more about Central Catholic tonight. Boy, this football team just went on the road and shut out Jeanerette at their place. Final score 47-0. All right, Central Catholic, you're 4-1. You got my full divided attention. All right, a couple of 4-0 teams playing tonight. Arcadia, Glenbrook. I think everybody on the UTL side is on this Glenbrook bandwagon. We jumped on it last week. Big win last week and another big win tonight. And they're doing this against quality opponents. First Haynesville, now Arcadia. Arcadia, first defeat of the season comes by the hands of Glenbrook. Glenbrook moves to 5-0 in the year with a final score. Glenbrook 53, Arcadia 20. If you have not did your homework on Glenbrook and looked at where they at in the power rankings, you might want to go do it when Mr. Hunter Bauer updates those rankings. How about another undefeated matchup, ladies and gentlemen? 4-0 White Castle with that explosive offense comes in to 4-0 Catholic Appointment P. So you had the big play versus the physical play tonight at Hornet Stadium. Catholic of Poincaré, one of those teams you really don't want to play against for 4 quarters because of how physical they are, how mean they are in the trenches, and how good they run their offense to a T. One of those teams where if you got one of those offenses that you just can score on a blink of an eye, how many times will you actually see the football if Catholic of Poincaré keeps it for 9 minutes or so? And if you turn the ball over, that might be the end of the game right then and there, because Catholic of Poincaré might go for another 10-minute drive and beat you up along the way in the process in the trenches. So I like this Catholic of Poincaré team. Vinny, amazing job with this team. He said if they stayed healthy, boy, they had a shot this year. Coach Vinny, this team's off to a heck of a start. I can't wait to see what this team does in district play. Some competitive games to look out for. Tonight, Catholic of Poincaré at home stays undefeated with a 36-8 victory over previously undefeated White Castle. Big win there for Catholic of Poincaré. How about Cecilia and Notre Dame? Notre Dame pretty much had this lead for the entire game until the final seconds of it. Cecilia with a kick to win it. Final score, the Bulldogs 25, the Pios 24. What a game down there in Crowley, Louisiana tonight between the Pios and the Bulldogs. But tonight it would be Cecilia on the road with a big comeback victory to knock off Notre Dame. Cecilia moves to 4-1. Notre Dame drops to 3-2. We talked about it Wednesday night on the show. We said Parkway off to their first 4-0 start since 2013. Last time they were in the Dome. Could they go 5-0 tonight? Standing in their way would be 3-1 Captain Shreve. We watched this Captain Shreve team knock off Union Parish. We watched this Captain Shreve team lose to Bird by 5. Now Captain Shreve would have to hit the road and take on a red-hot Parkway football team. And tonight, Parkway at home, Dirty Red stays undefeated. Final score, 25-13. Big win for Parkway. Are they back? That's the question mark to keep an eye out on moving forward. Is Parkway back? Tell you what, Mangum, Oak Grove, 3-1 versus 3-1. I saw a video earlier about some potatoes or something down there. I'm not sure what that means, but still enjoy seeing these two teams play each other here in week 5. And tonight, heard a little bit about this game. Not sure exactly what happened. Was not there. I wish I could have been a fly on top of the bleachers, just sitting there watching this one unravel. Tonight, Jalen Williams, 6 more touchdowns to add to his list of a huge season so far. Is this kid really, how they say that, one of those top 5 backs in the state? Can we put him up there right now as one of the top 5 in the states right now? That's not my question to answer. I'll leave it up to all 8 of you watching right now, because you did it against Oak Grove, you did it against General Trask, and you're doing it against some top tier programs, and countless weeks of 7, 6, 5 touchdowns scored. So hey, I really like this Jalen kid. I think he's doing great things. Can he get Mangum to the promised land. This year, they got a shot. Everybody got a shot with this new playoff bracket, so we will see. But tonight, Mangum goes on the road to Oak Grove and knocks off Oak Grove at the Grove 50-21. I did not see this score coming. I figured if Mangum would have won this football game, it would have been close, and it might have came down to whoever had the ball last. And the way Oak Grove was playing the last 3 weeks, I figured Oak Grove had the edge in this one. Boy, was I wrong. Mangum flexing their muscles tonight. Big win on the road. 50-21. Yeah, people must not like to sleep no more, huh? We got 8 people up watching the late night edition of Under the Lights Week 5 recap show. Fiance and my son sleeping in the house. Neighbors have not come outside to call the law on me for being too loud yet. And it's a little nippy out here doing the recap show from my porch tonight. Gary Swallow currently at Talladega. So enjoy your weekend, brother. I hope you enjoy some good NASCAR this weekend. Tomorrow night, Under the Lights will live stream Peabody and Northside. 7 p.m. kickoff live at Peabody. 24 carries, 6 touchdowns, and 243 yards for Campasi. Hello. Another big night for the Kaplan fullback. All right, homecoming night for Opelousas High. The 3-1 Tigers welcome in the undefeated Leesville Wampus Cats. I love saying that mascot's name. Leesville, talented running back in the backfield with their power run game, would have to take on an OAHS team that is inspired and is playing with so much confidence rolling into week 5. And when you give a team confidence, when you give a team that has confidence a home game against an undefeated team, you know they welcome the challenge. You give a team with so much confidence, all of the alumni coming back, and so much fan support when they look up, there's not an empty seat in the house. You know that team is playing with confidence. You talk about Coach Jimmy Zachary and the turnaround he has done in his short period of time here at OHS. What a story for that program. Coach, congratulations on all the success so far this season. All the blood, sweat, and tears that these players have put into this program in the off season, in the fall, and the spring. So congratulations to the Opelousas Tigers for a heck of a start for this season. But it's not done yet. We're 5 weeks through. We got 5 more weeks of the regular season. And I think the Tigers are eyeing that district title. So we will see how that one plays out. Week 8 at Donald Gardner will be rocking when Cecilia comes in to town. Boy, I can't wait for that one. Tonight's matchup, Leesville coming in undefeated, like I said. OHS 3-1. Who would get the win? Come on now, baby. It's homecoming night at Donald Gardner. You're not going to beat the Tigers when they're playing with that much confidence. And it's homecoming night. big win tonight. They put up 50 in the first half. The Tigers knock off the Wampus Cats 56-20. Is there a hotter team in football right now than the Opelousas Tigers? Next up, LCA Avoyelles. We said it on Wednesday night, man. This matchup is just so weird. But Avoyelles, so good at what they do. Could a team like LCA stop those 2-point conversions, recover those onside kicks, and take advantages of the turnover on downs? When you got a team that has played in 5 straight state championships, you know coaching matters. And in this one, they come in and go to Avoyelles and a big time road win. LCA bounces back from the Ruston loss in a big way. Final score, Knights 48, Avoyelles 28. So congratulations, Coach Falk, and that LCA program getting right back on track. Not missing a beat after a week. 3-1 Brother Martin, 1-3 Edna Core. We asked the question whether or not Brother Martin could keep this one close, and a lot of people says you're asking a stupid question. That is the University of Edna Core, and when the University of Edna Core plays football, it is all business. You seen what they did to Warren Easton. They dropped 67. You saw what they did to St. Aug last week, blew them out. You saw what they did to Brother Martin this week, blew them out. Ladies and gentlemen, without the 3 forfeit losses, this team is 5-0, and with the 3 losses, they still might be the best team in the state of Louisiana right now because of what they've done through 5 weeks with some of these scores we've had. If Edna Core is going to win a state title this year, they're definitely going to earn it. But damn, they have a really damn good shot to go win it. Edna Core at home tonight, 40-7 over Brother Martin. So this is teams that they could potentially see in that Division I bracket, and you see where Core has done the last 2 weeks against 2 teams they might see in the playoffs, St. Aug and Brother Martin. So, like I said, the University of Edna Core strikes again. Next up, Denham Springs, red hot start, first time in a long time that this program is 4-0. The job would not be easy, as they would have to go to Cougar Stadium tonight and play St. Thomas More. We talk about how good that offense is for St. Thomas More. Could St. Thomas More play enough defense tonight to knock off Denham Springs? Answer. The question to the answer is answered. St. Thomas More at home tonight hold Denham Springs to 21, and that offense could not be contained, and they score 42. St. Thomas More 42, Denham Springs 21. Remember, St. Thomas More's only loss came to Catholic of Baton Rouge, a team that they would not even see in their playoff bracket. So, St. Thomas More, could they get back to New Orleans? We'll see. We have a lot of football left to play, and St. Thomas More has 3 good teams in that district that they have to play with: the LCAs, the Westgates, and the Turlings. That's a hell of a district, folks. Final one tonight was Neville and Ruston. 3-1 versus 3-1. Boy, did it live up to the hype. We wanted to see, could Neville stay in it, or was Ruston just that far ahead this year as a program that they are on their quest for the state championship? Neville gave them all they could want and more. Final score, Ruston at home though, they get the win, 27-21. Congratulations to Ruston, moving to 4-1 on the season. Neville, pretty damn good 3-2 football team right there. So we'll keep an eye out of those big two programs moving forward. Some other scores of interest tonight. Benton knocks off number 1 ranked Byrd 63-28. North Caddo knocks off number 1 ranked West Ouachita 28-27. So number 1 in Division 1. Number 1 in Division 1. So number 1 in Division 1 private, number 1 in Division 1 public. Both go down tonight. Sam Houston knocks off Sulphur 31-27. Scotlandville takes down Rummel 35-34. St. James knocks off Woodlawn 30-27. St. Aug knocks off Jesuit 37-21. Ascension Episcopal gets their first win of the season. They knock off West St. John 42-0. Centerville knocks off Ascension Christian 48-7. And Bolton knocks off Block 60-12. And I'm not sure if I said the St. James Woodlawn score yet, but that was St. James 30, Woodlawn 27. Headlines: St. James, for that score, they knock off Woodlawn with a game-winning touchdown with 16 seconds remaining. So, Troy, when you watch this one later, congratulations. St. James. Arch Manning is the all-time passing leader at Newman now, passing up Peyton and Eli for the passing yards leader. He just broke the record tonight, so congratulations to Arch Manning. Just edged his name in the record books. Rummel falls to Scotlandville tonight on a failed 2-point conversion. What a heartbreaker that is for Rummel. And you want a little love for Trey Holly? 12 carries, 310 yards, 5 touchdowns. Easy night for the future LSU football star. Haynesville's head football coach David Franklin wins his 200th career game. So congratulations to Coach David Franklin down there at Haynesville. All right, folks, at this time, it is time to give away helmet stickers, games of the night, upsets of the night, UTL statement wins of the night. Let's start with upsets of the night. All right. Here we go. Number 1. Catholic and New Iberia over Eunice earns my upset of the night. You had 0-4. Catholic and New Iberia knocking off Eunice Bobcats tonight, so they win my first upset of the night. How about from Thursday night? Caldwell Parish, also another 0-4 team, knocking off Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart went into that contest 4-0. Holy upset of the night coming from Thursday night. How about Benton over Byrd tonight? Benton 63-28. They knocked off the number 1 ranked team in Division 1 private. Benton over Byrd earns upset of the night. Another #1 ranked team going down. North Caddo knocks off West Ouachita 28-27. They earn upset of the night. And also, how about St. James knocking off 5A Woodlawn with a go-ahead touchdown with 16 seconds remaining. St. James over Woodlawn earns upset of the night. How about games of the night, ladies and gentlemen? Your first game of the night goes to Ruston over Neville. We saw that score a little earlier. It was 27-21 when we talked about it earlier in the show. What a game of the night. Well deserving for Ruston over Neville. Your next game of the night goes to Cecilia over Notre Dame. So Cecilia over Notre Dame wins their second game of the night. Your third game of the night goes to Welsh over Loreauville. The comeback victory for Welsh, 4-point win for the Greyhounds on the road. So game of the night goes to the Greyhounds over the Tigers. How about Thursday night matchup here? Game of the night goes to Amite over Kentwood. That was a 14-6 ball game. So congratulations to the Warriors earning game of the night here on our platform. And your final game of the night goes to Iota over Jennings. That 21-13 victory for Iota. What a game it was. They earned game of the night. UTL statement win of the night. UTL statement win of the night. Let's go. Number 1, Oakdale over St. Ed's. I'm to get horizontal. What's that mean? I'm to get horizontal. What's that mean? So Oakdale, big time win over a good St. Ed's football team at home, and it wasn't even close. That deserves statement win of the night. Cecilia over Notre Dame, going on the road to the Pio Stadium and knocking off Notre Dame after trailing majority of the entire game to win it at the end like that. Cecilia earns statement win of the night. Opelousas High against undefeated Leesville, and all Opelousas High did was hang 56 up on that scoreboard for homecoming night. OHS, you earn statement win of the night. Next statement win of the night goes to Catholic Appointed over previously undefeated White Castle. This one wasn't even close. Catholic Appointed big home win over White Castle, and they made it look easy. Catholic Appointed were in wins UTL statement win of the night. And your final statement win of the night has to go to Mangum over Oak Grove. They went into Oak Grove. They put up a big spot. I think they've scored 50 if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they scored 50 tonight. So you want a statement? Mangum just made a statement tonight at Oak Grove. So Mangum over Oak Grove for a UTL statement win of the night. Alright, helmet stickers to give out, ladies and gentlemen. Helmet stickers. Number 1 goes to Catholic of Ponkapee. A dominant win over a 4-0 program. They earn helmet sticker of the night. Lafayette High. Thrilling win for Lafayette over a semifinal team from a year ago. What can that do to the program moving forward? So they earn helmet sticker of the night. Opelousas High. At home for homecoming. Knocks off undefeated Leesville, and they made it look easy tonight. They earn helmet sticker of the night. Oakdale, dominant win tonight at home. They earn helmet sticker of the night. And your final helmet sticker of the night goes to Vermilion Catholic Screaming Eagles. Make that 12 straight quarters of not allowing a point. We made that statement earlier that we think the Screaming Eagles will be playing in New Orleans. It won't be easy, but they have a shot to get there. But 12 straight quarters of not allowing a point, they earn helmet sticker of the night. And that calls it for helmet stickers, games of the night, upsets of the night, and UTL statement wins of the night. Does anybody have any questions for me before I close this one out? I'm going to leave something in the chat now. What if I do a recap show from Vegas next week? Because I'm leaving Friday morning and I'm going down to Las Vegas. So what about a recap show from Las Vegas while I'm playing the slots? If anybody got anything else, now is your time to do so before I get to this final subject. Could you imagine on the 28th of October this month, when we do the recap show, we're going to be well into the night, and then let's say if we're 12:30, 1 o'clock, and we're into the 29th of October. Hell, I get married that day. So, recap show on your wedding day. Why not? Alright, games of interest for week 6. Next week. Let's listen to some of these games and then let's close the door on week 5, ladies and gentlemen. Carencro versus Lafayette next week. Calvary Baptist versus North Caddo next week. Catholic of Ponkapee versus Sacred Heart next week. That's a big one. Ruston versus Alexandria next week. Jesuit versus Brother Morton next week. E.D. White versus Patterson next week. St. Charles versus Abbeville next week. Rose Pine versus Logansport next week. Cecilia versus Brobridge next week. St. James versus Lake Charles College Prep next week. We will find out if Teurlings is the real deal next week, because it is Teurlings and Westgate next week. What a game! Iota and Northwest next week. Archbishop Rummel, John Curtis next week. Avoyelles and Oakdale next week. This might be a game that ends at 8:30 next week, the way both teams run their offenses. Undefeated Welsh, undefeated Grand Lake meeting up next week. And how about Oak Grove and Haynesville next week? Coach Brody, who does Kaplan have next week? I just said who Mr. Jesse's team is playing, so what's up for the Pirates? Should be some district play, huh? Yep, Crawley. Will be a nice matchup there. Crawley playing a lot of teams close this year. Besides tonight, rain looked pretty darn good against Crawley tonight, so we will see. Especially going down to Crawley Stadium. But let's close the door on week 5, ladies and gentlemen. Homecoming night all across the state of Louisiana. I hope those seniors enjoyed their final one. And I hope that senior court enjoyed the memories that they will take with them for the rest of their lives tonight, of being able to be on that homecoming court. So congratulations to those that won king and queen that were announced at games tonight. Congratulations to all of our winners from week 5. And we want to say safe travels to Mr. Gary over there at Talladega this weekend. Next week, Wednesday night show, Thursday game, and Friday I'm going to try to get the crew to head out somewhere and do a football game while I'm in Vegas, and I'll do the recap show by myself. So we will close the door here tonight. A lot of wows, a lot of whats, a lot of hows, and we say good night from my porch here in Port Barre, Louisiana. My name is Jordan Taylor. This is Under the Lights, week 5 edition of the recap show. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. We will see you next week.